Starting to the bottom left, we have our Terran player with a 1-0 lead over his opponent. He's starting in red in his ideas.
Maru Prime.
So young. I asked him in an interview once, do you see your future in anything but StarCraft 2? Are you going to go back to school? Are you even going to finish school? And he said, no, absolutely not. I am going to play StarCraft 2. That is my future. So young, got a big dream. He's up against a player from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, called the Protoss Panda. Lino gets the Zerg Panda. This guy is...
EGJYP Lady Core.
Oh, he gets the lady call?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Crowd is silent about that. There he is, JYP. Been around a really long time. Really known for his Blink Stalker play. Was one of the only teamless Code S players a few seasons ago.
You know, the Fnatic players don't get the lady call anymore. I think that the EG players are just a little bit more sexy.
I suppose that may be it. I don't know the reason fully.
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, Oz. I know that you don't want to hear this, but apparently it's true.
It may be so. But we are going to have a Command Center first coming out here from Maru. This is really not what I expected from him, but he's just saying, you know, I can beat you in a straight-up game. And the response from JYP is actually to send a second probe out. He's also chrono boosting his Zealot. He really wants to put heavy pressure on here.
He scouts immediately what's going on. The first scout that he sends out goes cross position and he sees what's coming. So Maru is in the unfortunate position that his opponent knows exactly what's going on. And this probe is just going to be so annoying. Finally it's down to 5 hit points and needs to regenerate the shields if he wants to be a bit of a nuisance later on. But the double barracks is coming in right now, but also the second probe. And we will see the Zealot as well. This is a lot of pressure with just a few units. He's sacrificing economy for it, but it can annoy your opponent so much, especially if you're able to kill an SCV or if you delay the command center.
Yeah, and he may be able to do both. The probe in the main base finally gets trapped and killed, but the Zealot is about to arrive, and these SCVs are very low. The first Marine has not even been started because not only has he delayed the command center, but he's delayed the barracks as well. This is really scary. Back at home, he's only mining from gas with one probe. The Zealot actually could get in the main. He needs to lift that. He does. If that SCV is not properly halted, he may come to the outside very close there.
Yeah, but the expansion is now done, so there's not a lot that JYP can actually do. Yes, he can start to attack the command center, but it's not like he is going to kill it.
Yeah, he will actually be able to keep these two Zealots alive for a really long time down here if he micros them correctly. And Maru's going to have to wait for a third Marine. He may even wait for a fourth before he starts to keep this command center alive. Probably going to drop that Mule in the main as well. Yep.
To the top right, we have Maru with a scout on his own. He sees the expansion for JYP. But JYP sacrificed chrono boosts, he sacrificed additional probes, and this is of course something that will affect him. On the other hand, Maru is still trying to save those SCVs that he's currently building. A really nice move.
Is he going to actually fight with the Zealots? I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, he's going to get out of there. But the damage was done. He actually damaged that command center down to 946 hit points. Got his Nexus up. So even though the command center was up first, technically speaking, all he really got out of it for now was mules. The Nexus is completed now. He was able to stop mining there and also even make it so the mules were dropped in the main rather than natural. So a lot of pressure there by JYP, a great reaction to what he scouted.
Yeah, but the problem for him is still that he's now down in Harvesters. He's at 23 to 24, so the Terran player not only has the second mule, but also a lead in the work account. And this is also always tricky when you're a Protoss. You want to have it like exactly the reverse situation where you have the lead in workers. So all the chrono boosts that JYP had to sack has sacrificed. Well, really, it's going to affect him. It's going to affect him a lot, actually.
Yeah, you're so right. It really shows in the worker count here. He's trying to buy time with this Stalker to get one more Stalker out. He's actually going to have to go up the ramp. He's pulling his probes as well. This is actually what I love about StarCraft 2. Players who put on pressure and react to what they have seen. This is what both these players are doing here. Now the Zealots come out. He's fighting using the ramp against the Zealots, but the Stalkers will do the extra damage. The best he can hope for here is to take out both Zealots. I think he will. The second one looks like it may survive.
Yeah, it's going to be close, but he took down a few Harvesters. He took down 4 in total, and this means that the Harvester count now is 28 probes against 32 SCVs, which is a great situation for Maru to be in regards to economy. And he already built the bunker at home, so JYP is moving out with the Stalkers. He's like, okay, well, you lost a lot of Marines, you lost a lot of your ability to pressure me, I still have my Stalkers, I can try to poke, and if you didn't build a bunker, then I'm going to punish you. But Maru built the bunker, he's safe, and JYP here Has to be really careful in this game.
Yeah, he really does. He cannot allow Maru to get away with what he got away with last time either. He's making the robotic support bay now. Very normal transition after this. He's got the Marines on the run a little bit here. It's kind of awkward because the Marines now have to go back towards Maru's base to attack the Stalkers, so no matter what, his pressure will not actually succeed. It's going to be easier for him to fight within the watchtower, but with the Observer there, he actually doesn't get the advantage he was hoping for.
Yeah, exactly. That was a bit unfortunate, but of course well done by JYP. Has to be careful though, because now he's nearly losing another Stalker.
This is such an awesome game. I love when players see their opponents take risks, try to punish them for it. Both players being extremely aggressive here and microing so well. This is how StarCraft is meant to be played, man. This game is awesome that we're watching right now.
Look at what JYP does. He completed the robotic space, so he can go once again for this timing with Colossi, but at the same time JYP is working at the rocks. Maru once more with the fast upgrades. This is the advantage that he's going to have. His starport is just now finishing while the first Colossus has been started. So we will see this window once again, but JYP is not going for a two-base Colossus timing attack. No, he's this time falling back, will take a third base in roughly a minute or two, and as you can see that with the double forge that he's building, he's prepared to play the catch-up game with the upgrades.
Yeah, he's killed so many of Maru's units. He's actually, in resources lost, at 700 to 300, that's more than double. Yeah, that seems like a small amount of resources lost, but in the early game that makes pressure so much harder to execute. For example, this attack. He stims these Marines, they're not really going to be able to do anything except see the Nexus, which is really important. But he wants to do more with them, and in fact, with this nice Zealot Warp, and he should be able to deny. Maybe he's going to lose a few probes here. I'm surprised he doesn't just pull them away.
Yeah, he will lose a lot of stims, but he's actually taking down more than I thought he would.
Yeah.
That was pretty well done.
That was well done. In resources lost now, it's still in favor of JYP, but he made those Marines work at least, and he got the crucial information that the third base is going up.
Of course, he's always just taking away a bit at the hardest account of his opponent. Double chrono boost now for the upgrades. JYP is not gonna fall into the same trap that he fell in the last game. He will be on even upgrades with Maru soon enough.
Yeah, and this is JYP's game to play now. He actually is no longer playing a game where he was tricked. This time he scouted what his opponent did. It's really nice about pressuring him. Does lose his observer here, but then Maru's pressure that he's been trying to put on, JYP has pretty much shut down successfully time and time again. Maru's pressure did some damage, but it's not the damage he wanted.
He's moving out now with the first Medivacs that he has. Pretty common for a Terran player, and he knows, of course, with the 3 bases that JYP is currently trying to protect, he has a lot of surface area where he can put a pressure on.
And
so
this is
try to drop.
And this is not your normal 2 Medivac timing. This has a ton of Marauders in it. He's actually, yeah, he's got the Colossi, but this is a very powerful attack. The Zealots do run in, of course, without charge, so nice split here by Maru. He's got a great concave.
That split is crazy. Finally, the Colossi are doing some damage, but they are under a lot of pressure now. It was really well done by Maru. JYP takes the units down, but a lot of Gateways units lost here.
Yeah, Maru losing more, though, and that trade was not as effective for him as he wanted it to be, but it was more effective than probably it could have been if he did not split his units so well. He's been consistently aggressive in this game, but he has not gotten much of a return for it. So Maru is starting to fall behind in supply. He is slightly ahead in upgrades, but that's going to change pretty soon.
You know, the first few Colossi beams were hitting 1 Marine. That's all that they hit. Later on, Maru clumped his units up a bit more, so JYP could get the damage output that he wanted. But the initial attack by Maru and the idea, I really liked it. It wasn't as successful as it could have been. He scanned ahead, he saw the army, he was trying to get up the choke point before JYP used the force fields to shut him out. But in the end, it was not as successful as it could have been, but I like the idea.
Yeah, right now he's got 3 Colossi with the 4th one about to pop out, and that's going to be an army that Maru can no longer fight without Vikings. He's getting his second 2 Vikings right now, going up to his 3rd and 4th. His medevac count is pretty high. He did not lose really medevacs with that attack, but he lost a lot of his Marines. So his army is just not quite strong enough to pressure anymore. Now he's going to have to figure out how he wants to move forward. He is starting a 4th base down next to his 3rd, and if he can actually get some extra SCVs out of that and take a few engagements, maybe get some successful drops off, he will be able to pull ahead. But as it is, JYP right now is getting all the tech he needs.
Yeah, he's going for the Templar Archive. He will have Storm. And of course, also his upgrades are about, well, not about to be completed, but halfway done. Maru is moving out, is going to hit this timing where he has the +2 attack upgrade, and JYP is still on 1-1. If he can make this use to his advantage, he might be able to fight a few engagements and get out ahead, but still, with JYP protecting the high ground, he can always use those choke points to split his opponent's army in half with a few force fields.
Yeah, I think he's going to scan and kill that Observer. He's thinking about it. Observer actually runs away. The Stalkers are ready to pick off Vikings in the middle of the map. He's actually chasing the factory right now as well. He may even be able to catch a Marauder. Basically, he can kill one unit if he wants to. He backs up. He's ready to defend here. Maru in army supply is up about 10, but the composition that JYP has built is, I think, too much for him, especially if he actually fights on top of that high ground.
He doesn't really want to fight here. He has the problem that every single time he walks up the ramp, he will face force field, so he just falls back, holds down mules in his main base, and gets the upgrades. What I'm missing in the production tab for Maru is that he so far didn't start a Ghost Academy.
Yeah, and he doesn't have one.
Yeah, you should know that by now it would be time to prepare for the Ghosts if he wants to face Storms later on.
He is getting 3-3 a little bit faster, of course, so even though JYP has the ability to Chrono Boost and he does have double forges, Maru has been able to keep his upgrades up, which is really important in this matchup. There's the Ghost Academy. Notice also he decided to make his 4th into a planetary. That's really good for zoning on this map, makes it very difficult to do Zealot run-bys, for example. JYP is really trying to make something work with these Blink Stalkers, which is always kind of scary for Maru. He has to babysit his army a little bit, otherwise he'll lose a Viking or two.
Both of them start with their +3/+3 upgrades immediately. They don't waste any time here. And now that Maru has a 4th, JYP is doing the same. He's moving out and started his first... Oh, well, actually he didn't start his Nexus. He was walking down there with a Pro, but so far didn't start the structure itself. Moves across the map now, and Maru has to play defensive. He is getting the 2nd starport. He wants to have the ability to get a lot of Vikings in a short amount of time, and also Medivacs later on.
JYP has to figure out his angle of attack here. The planetary is such a strong, formidable thing to face with a Protoss army. You've got to fight it the right way, otherwise it becomes this massive unit that just makes your fight go awkwardly. It's also a wall with your Zealots. It's very hard to engage the Terran Bio Ball. This is a really stressful situation for JYP because the 4th base for him is way later than his opponent's.
Yeah, he started a bit late, and now he tries to get the Warp Prism that he can use, of course, to dodge EMPs at the same time. It's one of the things that he can use to just go for Stormdrops, but look at this.
He can actually force the cancel here, I think. Yeah. And he killed all the cannons.
Oh, wow.
No cancel.
No cancel, he loses it. Ah, that's horrible. The cannons were killed, and now a few of the Stalkers and Zealots are going to die. Yes, he takes down every single Marauder, but this was a trade well worth it for Maru.
Absolutely, because he doesn't lose too many units, so JYP, it's not like JYP unlocks a timing where he's like, alright, I killed a ton of your army, now I can actually attack you with a bigger force.
And you know, that bought him enough time to get the Ghosts in the game.
Yeah,
so now he has EMPs, and he gets personal cloaking. That was, not only did it kill the economy of JYP, but at the same time it was very positional.
It was so positional, and also, you know, when you have a maxed out Terran army, you can't alter it, but if you trade units for a Nexus like that, then you can alter your composition because you have freed up supply. A little bit of a battle there with Zealots versus Marauders. Now, the army composition of Maru right now is insane. He has 13 Vikings. He is going to have 5 Ghosts out as well.
I love it. I love it so much. Double Ghost Academy. Now that we are at this 200 supply scenario, he wants to go for nukes. He wants to start nuking his opponent, and this is putting so much stress onto a Protoss player. If you know that there are nukes coming, you always have to check where exactly are the ghosts for your opponent. What is he doing? You run the risk of getting your army nuked if you don't pay attention. I really love this. This is very positional, and it's such a great strategy for the late game. You have the resources anyways, you have them floating, so why not use the nukes?
Something I'm really curious about is this Warp Prism has 1 sentry in it to the south. He doesn't have anything else in the Warp Prism besides a sentry. He could warp in Zealots very easily and try to trap units in the main, I suppose, but this is going to be a little bit weird. He's going in the main. He will see the nukes building at this point.
He's also about, nearly maxed out. Now he can warp in 2 Zealots if he wants, but that's it.
Yeah, he just traps a bunch of SCVs here, but he doesn't, like you said, he doesn't have very many supply to actually warp stuff.
Yeah, he just lost a few more units.
The Zealots are trying to come in here, but he is denied. The thing is, JYP has built such an insane mineral bank that he's okay actually just throwing these Zealots in like this. He's going to lose his Warp Prism, but this is, again, very positional. JYP is actually taking control of the Watchtower in the middle of the map as well right now. Maru cannot actually get all the way up into his main base, because if he does, he's not going to be able to defend the planetary. He actually has to turn around.
Yeah, he turns around as he realizes what's going on with the sensor turret. He knows what's coming. He's a little bit down in supply here. He's getting more and more ghosts, cancels those 2 command centers that he was building because he realizes, well, they won't finish in time. He can't get additional planetaries up. They're just going to block his way. And for JYP, we have more Colossi, which is, of course, a bit risky against 15 Vikings. You need to have good storms if you want to control the Vikings. That's what JYP needs here. But he's facing a lot of ghosts. 6 additional ghosts are being built now.
The JYP has been working on his Harvester production a little bit more than Maru. You know, Maru has lost some SVs, but he hasn't rebuilt them, whereas JYP rebuilt all the ones he lost. He's at 70 to 60 base right now. It's technically 69 to 57, so 12 Harvester difference. Maru does not have a mineral bank. He made a planetary instead of an orbital at that south base. He is getting an extra orbital, or will likely make this command center into an orbital at the south there, but he needs to build a bank again, because right now JYP can actually warp in so many Zealots if he loses a fight, and he's going to be able to reinforce, but he's starting to lose some already. Great storm there. Yeah,
very good. Enables him to retreat, but the ghosts are now going to be very interesting. There comes the first nuke.
There's so many cannons here, though, that he basically is using this nuke to kill some cannons so that he can maybe nuke the base. I really like how JYP did not skip on defenses here.
He has the mineral, so he's not playing it risky at all. Another nuke will probably start very soon, but first of all, we have a bit of a fight here. JYP once again trying to bait Maru into a storm, but Maru doesn't fall for the trap. Nuke number 2 is headed towards the cannons.
Yep, and he's already remaking his nukes. I really love how this game is played. So positional, so patient by both players. Storm's going down. Another Warp Prism is going down to the south right now. He does not have it loaded. You can see the cannons have now been cleared, so he can actually start to damage that Nexus with nukes if he wants to.
And there comes the next nuke immediately. He's slowly putting pressure onto the 4th base. Exactly what he wants to do. Now the army is also in position. There are still cannons on the high ground that he doesn't know about.
Yep, and now that he's killed some of the cannons, he is going to go in and attack this assimilator.
And these nukes are, of course, so important also because JYP cannot attack into the nukes.
Right.
He cannot engage this army. It's too tricky.
This is just a slow push. Look at how JYP uses the high ground cannons plus High Templar to defend his base. Really well done here. The nuke is starting to damage the Nexus, though. It's completely out of shields at this point.
But JYP can't attack into this. 2 more nukes are building. He needs to wait for them. And if he uses them correctly, then JYP will have a huge problem engaging this Terran army. Nice. Well done here. We have immediately a snipe on the High Templar. The Protoss is trying to find an angle, and now he knows that there is at least no ghost around. But still, this is very, very tricky. JYP has to be... He has so many minerals, he has so much gas, he gets additional gateways because he knows exactly that he can rebuild his army immediately. But if Maru gets a really big win in the next engagement, he can just start to target down the structures, the building structures of his opponent.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking around for that Warp Prism, and so far I'm unable to find it. It must be hiding somewhere on the map. He does have the ability... Okay, there it is. I found it now. It's coming across there. Now, with that Warp Prism, he can start to warp in High Templar. He's going to go for a Colossus drop even because he's got the bank. Now he needs to start trading against Maru because even though he's got a bunch of minerals, it's not going to matter if he loses one big fight and then the game's just over. So he's got to start trading and using those resources for something. Picking off ghosts like this, trying to fight the army a little bit.
Keep in mind that Maru has more army supply than JYP because his worker count is lower. There's a 15 worker difference.
But there are 29 ghosts on the map. That is actually hard to believe.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. It reminds me of the old days when ghosts were so overpowered against Zerg with the snipes, but this is really crazy.
Colossus drop in the main is starting to do some damage, by the way. He also warps in additional Zealots there. This is really going to force Maru to make a tough choice. Does he send most of his army back or not?
He sent a few units back, but he decides to actually move in. Once again, the nukes not only to do damage to the 4th, but also designed to just zone JYP out. But in the main base, he's struggling. He's sending a few units over. The Warp Prism dies, but the Colossus is going to be an issue.
Okay, this battle is so huge as well. Storm's going down, so are the EMPs. He has to deal with these Colossi somehow. This is so positional. This is all about micro right now.
He's building more Vikings. He knows that's what he needs. In the main base, still a few Zealots doing damage, but there are so many Marauders. They clean up what's still there. JYP, of course, remaxing with a huge bank that he has. It isn't a problem for him at all.
And it's time for DTs. He's actually using DTs here, warping them in. This also allows him to make Archons with a slightly different resource management, but he can also harass with them so much. There's a base at the bottom right, in fact, with no turrets available, and that's exactly what he's going to go for.
And he's getting another Warp Prism. Now that the last Warp Prism died, he wants to have a Warp Prism around so that he can warp in directly at his opponent's economy.
He goes right for the sensor tower with his first DT. He will get it, and the base at the bottom right is completely undefended.
He needs
no
to
turret.
scan.
Yeah, he certainly does.
There's the scan, and both DTs are not gonna die because JYP pulls them back in time.
This is an amazing game that we are watching right now. Another Ghost is trying to sneak around to the left side to nuke that base that's over at the 11 o'clock.
So much multitasking by both players now.
Yep, and this is the perfect place to nuke. No cannon can reach this spot. He will actually have to continually move his probes. Oh, and this is a great position for Maru so far. A storm goes down, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough.
The Colossi are trailing behind,
and the nuke!
It hits home, yes, boom!
9 kills there on the probes, and a great army engagement. He's going to nuke again. He's going to repeatedly hit this next until it's low on hit points.
It's a really great position for the Ghost, and now Maru is pushing in once again. His army supply is 30 ahead of JYP. JYP is in trouble. He cannot engage into this nuke. It's impossible.
Yeah, he will not be able to fight here. The nuke will, even if it doesn't hit his army, it's going to hit the Nexus as well as those cannons.
And Maru has more nukes. He can just nuke this position over and over again and he does it. He nukes it again and he rebuilds his nukes right away. JYP is actually trying to move in, kills the Ghost, but here come the EMPs.
He's so reliant on those Colossi, he can't lose them. He has to pull them back. He's fighting now Stalkers against the Vikings. The EMPs blanket the army.
There are way too many Vikings. He cannot really engage this, and JYP is dropping in supply. He's just horrible for him. He lost the 4th base.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to figure out what sort of composition he should even build. You know, there are times where you see just nothing on the production tab. He can remax instantly, but he's like, well, do I make High Templar? Do I make Zealots? Or do I make Colossi? I've got to make use of the resources I have right now. He can't even really mine from his base to the north because nukes keep barraging it. He actually has only 1 probe mining there right now. And there's another nuke. Yeah,
he just built 5 of them. It is crazy. Maru uses his resources so well. And JYP, he had this bank earlier, but it's gone, Wolf. It's completely gone.
Yep. And oh! About 9 of those probes went down, it looks like.
He killed 37 in total in this game. And JYP, oh wow, he's still at 200 supply, but this is going to take its toll.
He's unable to mine. With the nukes there, he cannot actually mine.
And he can also not get rid of the Ghost, but now we have the major engagement. Here we come again with all those nukes. He's hitting EMP after EMP. We still have 23 Ghosts on this map. And now every single Colossus is being chased by the Vikings, but great
The Vikings are gone.
Here. Exactly, great defense by JYP. He's still so low in army supply, 70 to 100.
If he can fight these Ghosts though with the Colossi, he'll be pretty happy about that. The Nexus finally saved by that lone Zealot that comes across. Oh, this is such a stressful moment now for Maru because his army is not the right composition. He cannot fight this many Colossi with Ghosts alone. He's going to need a little bit more support. He needs to buy time to get those extra Ghosts and Vikings out.
This is such a cool game, Wolf. This is really crazy. I love how JYP warps in a few Stalkers because he knows that the Planetary won't be in range. Even moves back. I really love this game. Both of them are fighting so hard to make this work. The army supply now 120 against 100. Of course, Maru has the advantage with all the mules that he has. But this game is just insane. JYP rebuilt his 4th base. He's mining at his 5th again. And Maru lost this position where he could just pressure both bases.
Yeah, the contain has been broken. JYP uses these Stalkers a little bit, giving him a taste of his own medicine at the bottom right. He is forced back. This next engagement could be pivotal though, because at this point the Vikings have been rebuilt. He's up to 5 now.
Yeah.
He has 19 Mirage and 27 Ghosts in his composition. His army is really strong right now.
I would actually say this is one of the most positional games that we have casted in ages.
Yeah, especially in this matchup for sure. A good storm here.
Yeah, really well done. To the top left though, we have this one Ghost that's trying to sneak around the cannons. And he will be able to get in the position at the 5th base again. This is where Maru wants to be, but his army in the main center of the map looks a little bit lost.
It does look a little bit lost. He's trying to find the right engagement here. The nuke has been called down again. Very tactical at this point. I mean, it's true to its name.
It is a tactical strike. So.
Yeah, that certainly is.
I think JYP didn't realize it. Oh my god, JYP doesn't see it. Oh no, this is brutal. Oh,
all the probes are dead, and all the EMPs hit his army. JYP is looking pretty dead right now. He drops a few storms, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough.
Oh my god, he's being caught with his pants down. The Colossi were at the end of the army. They were not shielded by anything at all. Every single one of them dies. Those storms, A for effort, but they did not do enough damage. And now Maru is the steamroller JYP.
He really is. The Colossi trying to micro back against the cannons. He's doing everything he can here. A good storm goes down, but he doesn't have the economy to fall back to. His probe count is down to 20. He lost his Nexus at the 3rd. or at the 4th rather, his other Nexus has 100 hit points left, and one more nuke will shut it down.
You know, this is what we talked about. Those nukes, at some point, they will take their toll. You have to concentrate so hard to see where exactly they go down. At some point, you will miss one. And this is what happened. JYP missed a nuke. He tried to defend. Suddenly, he was at too many positions at the same time. He didn't see the army coming. Tried to run away. The Colossi trailing behind were being picked off by the Vikings. Really well played by Maru. This is just so positional, and he is now in such a huge lead.
A good storm drop is how he's hoping to get back into this, but I certainly don't think he's going to be able to hold against this many ghosts going up his ramp. Storms go down, but the ghosts can just eat them at this point. The ghosts actually do so much damage to light units, 26 per shot, plus he has snipes against any zealot he faces. And let me tell you, man, there's only 3 zealots on the map with 3 Colossi to back them up. I think it's going to be time for a GG here.
JYP already muttering to himself that he has no income. Both bases are gone. He's at 46 supply. The army supply right now for him at 40 against 110. Maru is moving in. He's nuking the hell out of JYP. Nukes everywhere. This is Armageddon for the evil genius.
Yep, GG there. That was it. Done deal. Maru with great multitasking. That game started out awesome and it finished excellently as well. What a sick game. I haven't seen a game that good in a while. I mean, not to say that the games we've seen recently aren't good, but that game...
For Terran versus Terran, this was brilliant. I really loved it.
It was from start to finish brilliantly executed by both players. You've got both of them putting pressure on, reacting to what they've seen scouting-wise, and then in the late game we've got nukes, we've got storm drops, we've got stalkers coming out as well.
And especially how Maru engaged the 4th base. This is so well done. The 4th base in the middle between the 2 armies, and every single time the nuke that was making sure that JYP couldn't move in. He could not move in. He knew, okay, if I go in there and the nuke comes down, I'm going to lose my army. His 5th was a bit exposed. The only reason why Maru couldn't take it down, though, was because JYP already planned ahead. He knew that this situation might occur, so he built so many cannons that there was just no way for Maru actually to walk up, but he used his other ghost on the other... It was just brilliant. I love it.
He had the ghost in the... He was a special ops ghost. He was in the medevac. He came around and he did his job. He killed all those probes. He kept damaging the Nexus. We had storm drops, we had stalker drops, we even had a Colossus drop in the main, and that's the moment where Maru's like, well, this is a big problem in my main base. How do I deal with this? Do I actually send most of my army home? I'm going to lose my position in the center. This game was epic.
This was not only rock, paper, scissors, this was actually rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. So Big Bang Theory in the game. I really love it. But guys, this is only the first best of 3 out of 4 today.
Hard to believe, but it's true.
The next one is coming up in 5 minutes, so if you want to see some more StarCraft 2 action, stay tuned, and we'll be back in a few minutes with the second best of 3 of the day. See you soon.